from the year 1980 in the Democrat and Chronicle. Bowlers' perfect games disqualified. The American Bowling Congress has disqualified a pair of controversial 300 games rolled last November at Brunswick Olympic Bowl by professionals Tommy Kress and Ron Legler. The ABC said the lanes that they used were improperly dressed. The bowlers and the Scottsville Road Bowling Center were notified of the ABC's action by mail, and it now appears that months of argument have come to an end. Neither the bowlers nor Brunswick Recreation Centers will appeal the ruling. Kress, 26, is a regular touring member on the Professional Bowlers Association Tour. Legler, 32, has not been bowling as often as he would like in national PBA events this season because he has had to work in his two area pro shops. On November 21, Kress and Legler bowled 300 games on the same night on the same pair of lanes and, in addition, in the very same third game of a 4-game set. For the night, Legler, who was a last-minute substitute in the league, rolled 226, 269, 300, and 290 for a 1085 series. Kress tossed games of 247, 226, 300, and 235 for a 1008 series. Bowlers competing on the opposite team on the same set of lanes rolled games of 138, 157, and 202 opposite the 300s. Sources said that due to the number of similarities, the ABC began its investigation. Hal Kaminsky, an assistant with the ABC's Testing and Research Department in Greendale, Wisconsin, came to Rochester and investigated high scores at Olympic and 6 other centers to see if lanes met ABC specifications. David Lumley, the ABC's manager of the Rules Department, said by telephone from ABC headquarters, "I don't have the file here at this moment, but if the lanes were ruled to be improperly dressed, then that was the reason why the scores were denied." Proper dressing refers to a treatment over the entire surface of the lane so that no bowler has a built-in advantage. One source who's very familiar with the history of Olympic Bowl called the ruling completely unjustified. In 22 years, they've had more than 140,000 adult-sanctioned bowlers at Olympic and just 5 300 games in all that time. To throw out 2 of them because they were bowled on the same night, on the same pair, just isn't right. Kress, who's competing at the U.S. Open in Windsor Locks, Connecticut, has rolled 2 more 300s since November 21st, one at D&D Lanes in Rochester and the other during the PBA's Quaker State Open in Grand Prairie, Texas, where he finished second. I've had 2 that were allowed since then, so it doesn't really matter anymore to me that this one wasn't allowed, Kress said. But I feel very badly for Ronnie because it's the only one he's had under sanctioned conditions. It's my belief, and always has been, that when I walk into a bowling center with ABC certification on the front door, that the lanes are approved lanes and scores will be recognized. If I've paid my sanction fee and the lanes are approved lanes, then the scores should have been okay. Wayne Lipp, Olympic Lanes manager, told me once he'd never had a score tossed out of any place he worked at. Conditions change from day to day, and I've seen that out on tour. And believe me, it's the same way at any place. Legler, contacted at his pro shop on Hudson Avenue, said, "To me, a 300 game always has been a luck situation. I've had several of them in practice, but only one under sanctioned conditions. But after all of this, I must admit I'm now kind of glad this whole thing is over with." Lipp is vacationing and could not be reached for comment, nor could Jack Singer, Brunswick's district manager for the area that includes Olympic. But Bill Kratzenberg, director of operations for Brunswick in Skokie, Illinois, indicated the company will give plaques and $300 to each bowler for the perfect games. "We have had several meetings with the ABC," Kratzenberg said by telephone, "and we plan on doing everything in our power to make sure our next 300 will be allowed. We want our lanes to be approved lanes."